Have you ever thought about what it really means to walk beside someone you love in their final year of life? Not just physically, but emotionally. Most of us assume it's about being there, about doing things, about arranging treatments, visits, or logistics. But as the months quietly slip away, something deeper is needed, something far more powerful and precious than errands or checklists. Emotional support isn't just an extra. It's the heart of what your loved one truly craves, even if they never find the words to ask for it. I want you to imagine this. Someone you love is nearing the end of their journey, and time suddenly feels like sand slipping through your fingers. Every conversation, every glance, every shared silence begins to matter more than it ever did before. In these moments, they are not looking for solutions or advice. They are looking for presence, for understanding, for the kind of silent companionship that says, "You are not alone." Before we dive deeper, if you find yourself thinking of someone right now, a parent, a partner, a dear friend, I invite you to share this video. Not just to help yourself, but because someone else might need to hear these words today too. Sometimes knowing how to be there for someone is the greatest gift we can give. When a person senses their final year unfolding, their needs often shift in ways they themselves can't fully articulate. They don't want pity. They don't want to feel like a burden. And they don't necessarily want constant reminders of what they can no longer do. What they hunger for, often without saying a word, is dignity. They want to feel respected, seen as whole, even as their body weakens or their memory fades. They want their story to matter. They want their dreams, their regrets, their tiny everyday preferences to still count for something. A simple way to offer this emotional nourishment is to listen without fixing. When they tell you a memory for the third time, don't rush to correct the details. When they voice a fear, don't minimize it with reassurances that may feel hollow. Instead, meet them where they are. Let the story unfold again, because maybe telling it brings them comfort. Let the fear sit between you for a moment, acknowledged, not swept away. It's not about having the perfect words. It's about offering your presence as an anchor when everything else feels like it's drifting away. If you're still with me, I hope you see just how vital your quiet attention can be. Stay with me, because there's something else just as important we need to explore. One of the most overlooked needs in the final chapter of life is the permission to feel joy. Yes, even now. So many people tiptoe around their loved ones, afraid to laugh, afraid to share lighthearted moments, as if joy is somehow inappropriate in the face of approaching death. But the human spirit never stops craving moments of lightness. A shared smile, a silly story, a favorite song playing in the background. These small, tender sparks can lift a heart weighed down by the gravity of the end. They remind your loved one that life, even in its last seasons, is still life. It's still precious. It's still allowed to be sweet. Sometimes the most healing thing you can do is invite laughter into the room where sadness feels heavy. You don't have to force it. You don't have to pretend everything is okay. But when a real moment of happiness bubbles up, don't push it away. Treasure it. These little bursts of connection may become the memories you cherish most after your loved one is gone. Hariman. And if you're finding this message resonating with you so far, if a particular face has come into your mind while you've been listening, I gently encourage you to share this video. Not because it's easy to talk about these things, but because it's necessary. Because somewhere someone else may be silently carrying the same questions you are. Stay with me, because the next part is perhaps the hardest and the most beautiful of all, and you won't want to miss it. When the final chapter of a life approaches, there's a subtle but profound shift that takes place, not only in the person nearing the end, but also in those who love them. It's a shift from doing to being, from trying to make things better to simply allowing what is, and still choosing love in every breath, in every glance, in every unspoken word. If you've stayed with me this far, you already know. This journey isn't about heroics. It's about presence. And now we arrive at perhaps the most sacred gift you can offer, the freedom to say goodbye in their own way. You see, many of us, without meaning to, place invisible expectations on our loved ones in their final season. We want closure. We want final conversations tied up neatly with declarations of love and forgiveness. We want one last meaningful moment to hold on to. And while sometimes those moments come, sometimes they don't. And that's okay. Kwawan, what your loved one needs most is not pressure to say the right words or to resolve every unfinished piece of life. What they need is permission. Permission to leave without guilt. Permission to rest without expectations. Permission to simply be, however that looks. You can offer that permission with your eyes, with your tone, with your gentle presence that says, "You don't have to perform for me. You don't have to be strong for me. It's enough that you're here, and I love you as you are." If you're still watching, still listening, still here with me, I hope you feel the sacred weight of this truth. And if someone you know might be carrying the same silent burdens, please share this message with them. You never know when a few tender words might lighten someone's heavy heart. Another quiet but powerful way you can emotionally support a loved one in their final year is to become a guardian of their memories. When someone is approaching the end, their legacy often weighs heavily on their mind. They wonder, will I be remembered? Will my life have mattered? Will someone hold the stories that shaped me? And you, dear friend, can be that someone. Ask them about the small things, about the summer they spent chasing fireflies, about the love letters they once tucked away in drawers, about the meals they loved, the mistakes they made, the victories no one else knew about. Listen with your whole heart. Laugh with them. Cry if you must. Let them know, in word and deed, that their life has been seen, felt, and will be carried forward. Because when the time comes for them to go, it won't just be a body you say goodbye to. It will be a lifetime of stories, a symphony of memories. And the fact that you chose to bear witness to those memories, to honor them, is a gift beyond measure. Before we move to the next part, if you're still holding space in your heart for someone right now, I gently invite you to pause, to breathe, and to reflect on the incredible power you have. Not to change the outcome, no one can do that, but to change the experience of the journey itself. That's not a small thing. That's everything. Stay with me, because what comes next is about your heart too, and how you care for yourself through this sacred, heartbreaking, beautiful season. When we talk about supporting a loved one through their final year, we often focus so deeply on their needs that we quietly forget about something else, something just as vital: your own heart, your own spirit. Because as much as your loved one is walking toward a threshold, you are journeying with them. And that journey too deserves tenderness. It's tempting to put every ounce of your energy into being strong for them, being present for them, making sure they are comforted and honored. But the truth is, if you don't also tend to your own grief, your own weariness, you risk running dry when they need you most. Grief doesn't wait for the final breath to arrive. It starts early. It sneaks into quiet moments, into hospital rooms, into late-night drives home after another long day at their side. If you're still with me, if you're feeling the tug of these words somewhere deep inside you, know this: it's not selfish to acknowledge your own pain. It's not wrong to cry in the bathroom after holding it together all afternoon. It's not a failure to feel exhausted or scared. It's human. It's love, showing up in all its raw, aching honesty. One of the most powerful ways you can sustain yourself, and in doing so, sustain them, is to carve out tiny spaces for your own heart. It might be sitting on a park bench for 10 minutes, breathing in the evening air. It might be writing a letter to yourself, naming everything you're feeling but haven't had the chance to say aloud. It might be letting someone else step in for a few hours so you can sleep without one ear always listening for the next call. Because you matter too. Your presence matters. And your presence will be stronger, deeper, and more sustaining if you give yourself permission to be a human being walking this sacred path, not a machine trying to fix the unfixable. If this speaks to you, if you know someone else who may be carrying the same silent weight right now, I invite you to share this video. You never know when a few simple words of recognition can remind someone that they are seen, that they are not alone. As we move into the final part of this journey together, stay with me, because what comes next is about the lasting imprint we leave, on their hearts, on ours, and on the sacred bond that even death cannot break. As we walk through these last tender miles with someone we love, there's a quiet question that often rises to the surface, even if it's never spoken aloud. How do I say goodbye? How do I leave something behind in their heart that will outlast the parting? And just as important, how do I carry them forward within my own? The truth is, goodbyes in the final year are rarely about big speeches or dramatic moments. They are woven into the fabric of ordinary days, or into the moments when you brush a stray hair from their forehead, into the way you remember their favorite story without being asked, into the silence you sit with them in, unafraid. Every small act of love, every choice to show up with your full heart, becomes a thread in the invisible tapestry you both are creating. A tapestry that won't unravel even after the final breath. If you're still here with me, if these words have wrapped themselves around something inside you, know this. Saying goodbye is less about the words you choose and more about the love you live out moment by moment. It's about honoring their humanity, their history, their heart. It's about bearing witness to the beauty and the brokenness without turning away. You might not get the perfect ending. You might stumble. You might wish later for one more minute, one more hug, one more chance to say what your heart carried. That's okay. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about grace. It's about allowing the goodbye to be as messy, as beautiful, as real as the life you shared together. Sometimes the most lasting gift you can leave them is your acceptance. The way your eyes tell them, you are safe, you are loved, you are free. Sometimes it's a whispered thank you as they drift between worlds. Sometimes it's just your hand, warm and steady, in theirs, saying everything that needs to be said without a single word. And after they are gone, your love doesn't vanish. It transforms. It becomes the stories you tell, the songs that make you smile through your tears, the ways you choose to live differently because you love them. In this way, they stay. In this way, you carry them with you always. If your heart is aching as you hear this, if someone you love is dancing close to that threshold, I invite you to share this message. Somewhere, someone else is walking the same fragile, sacred road and needs to know they are not alone. Thank you for staying with me through this journey. May you find courage, tenderness, and a love that endures beyond goodbye.